Today we're going to be checking out the soundcore Nebula P1 4LED DLP projector. So shout out to Nebula for sending this out for me to review. Also keep in mind that this is a prototype of this projector. So all the specs and everything like that, not final as of today. On the top, we get the accessories, which includes a USB-C cable, batteries, power brick, and the remote control. And here is the P1 itself. So as you can see, this is a very small, compact projector. And the interesting thing about this is that it does come with detachable speakers. So this seems to be a running theme with these new Nebula projectors recently. So this is going to follow the trend of the Nebula X1 and X1 Pro, which both have detachable speakers. So on the back here, you can see there is a locking mechanism. So if you turn it to the side, the top removes the speakers. So here, as you can see, we have left and then we have right, and these are attached magnetically. You pull them apart and then now you have some speakers. You have your left and right separated speakers. As for the speakers themselves, these are rated at 10 watts a piece, and then located on the back, you will see a water resistant flap, rubber flap. And if you open that up, you'll see that you have a USB-C charging port as well as the power on off button. Now, if you want to charge these, you can either do it by connecting the power plug up to the speakers themselves with that USB cable, or since this does have the charging pins located on the bottom, all you got to do is drop this right back on top of the projector, drop it down, the lever will lock, and then you just grab the handle, and then you can take it away. Now, we take the projector. Now this is on a gimbal, so very much like the X1, X1 Pro, this will actually let you tilt the projector upwards. So the lens is located right in the front. On the opposite side, you have your sensor, which will help you with focus and with the keystone correction. And placing it should be very convenient. So if you put this on the shelf or on a table, using the digital keystone correction, you should be able to get a pretty square image. Projection size ranges from 40 inches to 180 inches. 150 inches and above does require a completely dark environment. The recommended projection size is 100 inches to 150 inches. Now, as far as connections, we have a single HDMI input, one USB-A input, 3.5mm jack, and then we have the power button. Also on the bottom, we have a USB-C input and then another sensor. Located on the bottom of the projector is a threaded insert which you can use on a tripod. And on the top of the projector, you will have your charging pins for the detachable speakers, as well as the very cool looking silver soundcore badge. Now this is a native 1080p projector with a lumen output rated at 650. Now this has an all-metal optical engine housing, so heat dissipation efficiency is increased by 100%, which means a cool running projector. Now for speaker placement, I will be putting these on top of some temporary stands to the left and right sides of my screen to give me nice stereo separation. Nicely built, robust speakers, and they don't take up a lot of space in your theater room. So build quality wise, this is just like the 661s. These are made from HDF, not MDF. HDF is high density fiberboard, so it's a lot denser feeling. So if you give it the knuckle test. All right, yes, having that adjustable gimbal is really cool as far as setting up this projector, but I think that having these speakers that come with the projector is the coolest feature. I believe it's also the first portable 1080p projector to have these speakers, and the fact that you can get pretty good distance and stereo separation straight out of the box, I think is the best feature of this thing. And it plays up to 85 dB in my home theater. And thanks to its all-metal optical engine housing, heat dissipation efficiency is increased by 100%. I'm getting only 34 dB in my home theater, so this thing is super quiet. And you won't have to worry about image blur even after long usage. It'll still give you a great image. All right, so I am going to be placing this projector. This is going in my dedicated theater, which is totally light controlled. It's totally pitch black in here. And my screen is a 150-inch screen. So to get this set up, since this has this handy gimbal, so what I need to do first is just make sure that I have the projector's lens or the image as square as possible. So using the remote control, you can see here, once you press on the OK button on the remote, you can click that 4 different points here. And then by pressing up and down on the button, you can change the keystone on this. So as you can see, as I'm choosing different points, I can pull the projector's image inside and out to get this as square as possible. So once you get everything squared up, if you need to get any more adjustments, if you press on the button once again, this will take you over to the digital zoom. So by pressing on the plus and minus buttons, you can see that we can zoom all the way in, and we can get this all the way down to something like a 20-inch TV. However, if you want to zoom all the way back out, if you need to, you can zoom all the way back out. And you can also move the image as well. So if I want to move it up or down, you can also move it up or down. So the cool thing about these little lifestyle projectors is if you can't get this aligned perfectly, the projector will automatically align it to your wall or your screen for you. Now keep in mind that I am projecting on a 150-inch screen. So for a projector with this kind of light output at 650 lumens, 150 inches is going to be really tough to light up properly. So my suggestion is to project at least 100 inches and below, because 150 is really going to be too much for this projector. However, if you're not worried about lumen output or having the brightest image, you just want a really big picture, then you can go back as far as you want. And 150 inches is still really big. Now, as you can see, this is running on Google TV, and just like every Google TV, it does have a fairly snappy interface. But let's just check out some of the settings really quick. So we'll check out the picture options first so that you can get the most out of your picture quality. Now, if you want to get the most impact, obviously you're going to have to take the brightness and go all the way and max it out at 100%. That's going to give you the most brightest, most vivid picture possible. There are a few different picture modes. There's Nebula Master, which we have it on right now. Standard, we've got Vivid, we've got Sport, Movie, Game, and then Conference. Now, if you are using this for video gaming purposes, if you select on Game, you can see how the keystone correction went back to normal, because if you want to get the quickest latency on this, you're going to want to make sure you have this on Extreme, which turns off all the digital keystone correction and turns off the MEMC, which is the smooth motion or the motion interpolation. So if you are using this on the Extreme mode, you will have to get the image as square as possible with your screen if you want to get the lowest latency. Since we're not going to be gaming, we're going to keep this on the regular, I'm going to keep this on standard mode. This gives me nice color, nice vibrancy, and it makes everything nice and sharp. Now there are sliders for black level, contrast, saturation, hue, and then sharpness. Under advanced settings, we've got different color temperature settings. We've got user, which you can automatically change yourself by changing the RGB gain. There's cool, which will make the image a little bit cooler and a little bit bluer. Standard, and then we have warm, which gives it a slightly warm sepia, warmish tone. But for this, since I want to get the most color vibrancy out of it, since this isn't a high lumen projector, I'm going to keep this on standard. And then here we've got options for digital noise reduction. We've got MPEG noise reduction, DI film mode. We've got wall color. My screen is white, so we're going to stick with white. Gamma, we got normal, dark, and then bright. MEMC, so if you want to get that motion interpolation for some smoother motion, if you don't like the judder of 24 frames per second film, you can turn this on high, middle, or low. I personally don't mind it, so I'm going to keep this on off. And then for color space, I would just suggest you put this on automatic. And then if you have the proper calibration tools, we have the color tuner, which will let you adjust hue, saturation, color brightness, offset, and then gain. And then there is an 11 white point balance. However, at this price point, I don't think too many people are going to have this projector professionally calibrated, but it is nice knowing that you do have the option. Then the last option is to restore everything back to its default settings. Now for sound quality, we have a few different options here. We've got movies, music, outdoor, custom, which will let you adjust the balance, bass, and then treble. You can use this as a straight up Bluetooth speaker. So if you have your mobile device like your tablet or your cell phone, you can use the projector without having an image playing on the screen and just use it as a Bluetooth speaker. It does have speaker delay. And then under expert settings, this does support EARC. You can turn that on automatic or you can turn it off completely. And that's it for all of the picture and sound settings. Now, of course, being a Google TV projector, this does have all of your available apps. And if you do want to download more apps, this does have the Google Play Store built into it. So by going into the Google Play Store, you can search for whatever app that you want, and then it should bring it up. And of course, being a smart projector, here you can see that you've got all of your main video provider subscription services all on the main page. We've got Netflix, Amazon Video, Prime, Disney Plus, we've got Hulu, and then we've got YouTube as well. Now, the interesting thing is, since this is only a 1080p projector, we can see that if we go into the YouTube settings, this will actually play, well, this will actually support HDR. So even though this video is shot in 4K HDR, this will still support HDR output. And if you jump over to the picture mode settings, you can see that it says HLG, which is a form of HDR under these different picture modes. Now, being at only 650 lumens, it's not going to do too much of a difference, but it is nice that it does support HDR/HLG. And the same even applies to Netflix as well. You can see the upper corner there, it does say HDR, and it does say HD, 1080p, HDR/5.1 as well. And this is in the Netflix app. Now, for a simple 1080p lifestyle projector, I found this to be super fun having around the house. You can of course use this as your dedicated home theater display, or if you're just doing some casual viewing, you can even project this on your ceiling while lying in bed. So it's very versatile, and for being only 650 lumens, it was bright enough to make out everything on screen. Now, as long as it's totally dark, you'll get a very pleasing image that's got really nice sharpness. The colors are nicely saturated, especially for animated movies, and the black levels are pretty good too. And if you're binging your favorite TV shows, the wireless speakers will last up to 20 hours on a full charge. Charging will take up to 3 hours from 0 to 100%. Now, just like its bigger brothers, the Nebula X1s, this little Nebula P1 is a tiny all-in-one mobile home theater on the go. Now, if you'd like more information on the Nebula P1, or you want to pick one up, I will leave some links down below in this video's description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.